these smell so good, the tortillas.
I'm excited now.
We got a stew going. Hi everyone, I'm Saffitz. I am here on top of Mount Bonnell in beautiful Austin, Texas with Chef Fermín Núñez of Este restaurant and Suerte here in Austin. We're going to be making breakfast tacos and he's going to show me his process for flour tortillas.
In Mexico, we would just put this in a tortilla.
Chorizo and potato.
Yeah, in the States, people are obsessed with eggs and tortillas.
Yeah.
I'm not mad about it. We're gonna be making flour tortillas to make breakfast tacos. We got some ingredients and it's gonna be great.
I feel like I'm in good hands. I have been an eater of breakfast tacos, but never really a maker. What are like the principles of breakfast tacos?
I grew up in Mexico.
Okay.
And I never had a breakfast taco until I moved to Texas.
Okay.
I think it's a very Texas thing. My philosophy on breakfast tacos is less is more. Just like in the great dishes that you find throughout the world, the most important ingredient is the one you leave out.
So let's say you're making yourself a breakfast taco in the morning. What are your 3 things you're putting in it?
I'm going to show you the closest one I had growing up in Mexico, which my mom just would scramble eggs with a little bit of ham. I like to take it a little bit like chefy and take a little bit of cheese, put it on the caster and the plancha, and get that really nice and gooey. Put the tortilla on top, flip it, and then put the eggs and ham on top of it. You know, I also love like a good just chorizo, potato, and egg, like keeping it simple. It's all about a great tortilla and really nice ingredients inside.
Yeah, I love the like universal appeal of ham, eggs, and cheese.
Ham, eggs, and cheese. There's
Sounds
always
so
one
good.
way to make it taste good. All right, the tortillas. We have flour. We have more flour because we couldn't fit all that flour in there. Then we have salt, and then we have baking powder. And then on this side, we have all of our wet ingredients. We have milk separated into 2 measurements. Then butter, it's our fat. This one can change. This one can be bacon. If you're cooking a lot of bacon at home and you're the kind of person that saves the bacon fat, 51 grams is gonna go a long way. And then oil. This can also change, right? If you want to like switch this to for like oil and duck fat or just butter and lard, like these are very interchangeable. And then over here, this is like also very interchangeable. This can be just like whatever you have at home, a little bit of leftovers from the night before or not. Anything that you would mix with your scrambled eggs, you can put it inside of a tortilla. I have some chorizo that we make in-house here at Este. I have some potatoes that I just cooked in a little bit of oil and some onions in there to soften them up. Some cheese that we're gonna use to melt into the tortilla. You can also use it to sprinkle.
What kind of cheese?
This is a little bit of quesillo and mozzarella.
Oh, okay. So when it melts,
Like
you get that like pull a little
gooey
bit?
Ham, because it's my favorite. I like to cook my eggs with butter, but we can also use any other type of fat that we want. And then some salsas that we just kind of have at the restaurant, some guacamole, some salsa mexicana. I like to top my breakfast tacos sometimes with avocado.
All right, so we're gonna, sorry, this is my coffee cup. This is not an ingredient. All right.
It's vital ingredient.
So let's start with making our tortilla dough.
We're gonna heat up a little bit of the milk, butter, and oil.
Okay. And are you heating it up just to melt the butter?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then oil. We gotta heat up these ingredients. Put that over here. Flour in here.
Okay.
Mix all the
So we're
dry
gonna mix
stuff.
the dry.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now we add salt.
Kosher?
Yes.
Okay, kosher. And then this is powder, not soda.
Baking powder.
Baking powder. So the idea is when it hits the flat top, it's
Bubble.
gonna get a little puffy.
That's baking powder. So now I'm just gonna mix it all.
Okay.
We're gonna make a little well in there, but not like pasta well. So just like, I think that's an appropriate well-ish. Wow, is this a good well shot? The milk is ready.
So we pour simultaneously.
At the same damn time.
Okay.
Ready?
Ready?
Action!
Are you guys ready? Okay.
Action! Oh God.
I went a little first.
And then we just start working it together like a dough.
Okay. Hands.
Hands.
Okay. But you don't use like a scraper in the beginning.
I
or
can
a
bring
fork.
you one.
I like it because then your hands, your hands don't get wet as wet at first. Then it like doesn't stick so much.
That's why you're the pro.
Then you just gotta like scrape everything off your hands.
That's way easier than how I do it. My savory brain, it's like going like pasta dough. And I like always do that with my hand.
It already smells good.
It's looking
It smells
very
like buttery.
good.
Now it's kind of brought together. So out on the surface.
Yeah.
what level of like kneading are we doing? Just bringing it together, or we're really trying to like work?
Just bringing it together.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
You can overwork this very easily.
So just kind of making like an evenly mixed dough, but not really working it.
Yeah. I can't believe you never made flour tortillas?
Never. So we're working it, but then it rests.
Yeah, and
right?
then it rests, and then it kind of like brings it all together. Similar to like, whenever I was like learning how to make pasta dough, it was always really hard for me to like not want to have it super smooth. It's like similar to that, like where you feel like, oh, that doesn't look great, and then you go for like 30 minutes, come back, and it's like crazy.
Right,
delicious
everything
dough.
hydrates, but I will say that because of the fat in there, it's tacky, not sticky.
Yeah,
right.
Tacky, not sticky.
It's not sticking to the surface, but it's still a soft, pretty hydrated dough. Feels great.
Feels great.
Keep going, you think?
I think we can stop now.
Okay.
Now I'll go get another bowl. We can oil it.
What kind of oil, chef?
Choose neutral oil. Sunflower oil, the most expensive one.
So we'll put it in like rounded side and then coat and then leave it like that?
This gets covered, and then we're gonna let it rest for 30 minutes. Cater wrap.
Yeah.
Is this tacky, not sticky?
Perfect. That's perfect.
Is it really?
Yeah,
no, it's not.
seriously.
Nice! Perfect.
Guess what Harris is doing right now?
Taxes.
Taxes. At my sister's wedding at the brunch on Sunday, Harris was doing his taxes, which is now a family joke, although no one thinks it's funny.
When I do this, it's like, pancakes. The first one is gonna be is my snack.
But here's my real question. Do you do a very brief like bench rest where you're portioning and then you're forming it into like a sphere?
So I would portion all of this dough.
Yeah.
And then go back to the first one, so I had a little bit of time to rest.
To rest. So you said 50 grams.
50 grams. Maybe a little bit of flour in the thing.
Okay.
Or not. You didn't agree with that.
I feel like it's not very sticky.
Cool, perfect.
I don't know.
I'm
I don't know,
always
for me.
Afraid. Well,
Don't ask
I'm not
me.
a pastry person. I'm always afraid of like stuff sticking to my hands.
Oh, I don't feel like, I think because of the fat content, it's like greased. If you ever have dough that, like, because when you're rolling it, you're working the gluten and it's gonna wanna spring back. So sometimes you need the friction with the table for it to extend. So I guess I'll just divide in half at first. And you said 50 grams?
50 grams, yes.
Okay, so like, let's see what that looks like. Oh wait, I'm in ounces, hold on.
62.
Okay,
Almost.
so more like, close enough.
51. Yeah,
51.
close enough.
Okay.
I'm starting to figure out cats. I think the first step is realizing they're not dogs.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know, I've always been a dog person. I had a bad experience with cats at one point, and I was like, I'll never have cats, and then found the girl that loves cats.
Yeah.
And now I'm a cat dad. Proud cat dad of two.
Whenever we go on vacation, he brings a stack of papers that he's been neglecting and goes through them and
It
it's
looks
like
like he's
doing
going
his
through
taxes.
invoices.
He's
What
like,
is he
yeah, it's like doing his taxes.
In a sandy bucket? How are
Love
those
it.
invoices?
Great.
I'm going to take all your sandy buckets. The only thing that I'm like really strict on rolling is rolling it thinner than you think.
Yeah.
Because people, when they do flour tortillas for breakfast tacos, like if they do them too thick, it's like pita. We're making tacos. We're not making pitas.
Right.
Not making flatbread. As opposed to when we were rolling it, I like to use a hefty amount of flour.
Okay.
Trying to kind of like get it pre-shaped with my hand before I incorporate the rolling pin. I'm gonna try with this one.
So more of like a dowel versus like a full-size rolling pin. It's easier. You definitely get more like leverage.
I kind of like go back and forth
Uh-huh.
between like which ones I want. That's why I brought different styles. So when I see it like getting bigger on one side, then just kind of like flip and turn. I'm gonna switch to this bigger one. A key in this one is not forgetting like the edges. Because like you see people like doing this kind of like pizza, and they always forget to like go that.
Even thickness all the way around.
Correct. Again, keeping rotating. Why do you like flat over the like?
I feel like it's easier to
Really?
can feel the connection between the dough and the dowel, and then the dough and the surface better. And when it's tapered, it's like I just feel like it's
be more uneven.
It's just uneven, yeah.
So like most people will kind of like roll it into that.
Yeah.
But I think that's still going to be too thick for the purpose that we're doing. I like my flour tortillas because I'm from northern Mexico. A little bit thinner than most people are used to here.
Okay. Forgive me because I don't know this. Are there regions in Mexico where there are no flour tortillas, or is it everywhere there's just different styles?
I think there's a lot of there's flour and corn all throughout Mexico, but there's like different a lot more preferences where you would find more flour tortillas. Like in northern Mexico, it's really easy to find taquerias that have flour tortillas. I would never get a pastor taco in Mexico on flour. That's just like corn.
Yeah.
You know, but like in northern Mexico, I would get barbacoa on flour. And that's like, it's in northern Mexico, you have a lot more like meat-centric dishes, barbacoa, which you also find in southern Mexico, but the tortillas are more corn over there. Northern Mexico is really traditional to do carne asada, and you always have flour tortillas.
It's like springing back a little bit, but you're definitely able to extend it. Yeah.
It's funny to see it like when you see in the dough and it's kind of like a little, not like super come together.
Yeah.
And then you're rolling and you're like, okay, I did it.
Right.
I did it right. Pro trick, if you want to like roll a few in advance and if you tag them in them, you can just put them in parchment.
So they don't dry out.
Yeah. So, I mean, not perfect circle.
It was pretty good.
Yeah. How many clairs are on the clair scale?
5.
5? How many clairs was that tortilla? Just for roundness.
But is 5 the most round? I would give
it's your scale.
a 4.5. Pretty good. So the oil is for non-stick or browning or both?
Both. So spreading the oil. And now we watch it cook.
The idea is that you put it down, and within how many seconds do you start to see the bubbling or the blistering?
I don't really like to follow like seconds and stuff.
Yeah.
I like to just have the tortilla tell me when it's time.
Okay.
You know, kind of like when you're cooking steak, and you're able to like kind of like move it so it's not sticking.
Yeah.
I follow that same rule. The time can change depending on how hot it is. Right?
Yeah. And is it like a pancake where it's like you're going 75% on the first side and then the second 25, or it's half and half, or you do move it around a bunch?
It's a little bit half and half. I like to have a little bit of char too in my tortilla, but not like char too where it's like you fold it and it breaks. It looks like a tortilla.
It's like a tortilla.
The results are in. It's a tortilla. Oh yeah. Imagine some pillowy eggs in there. Woo!
The like slightly charred flour smell. Just taste it?
Yeah.
Ooh, hot. So good.
I think it's a little too cooked on this side.
You want it a little more flexible?
Yeah.
So the test was like a little big. So we're reducing the size to more like 30 grams. So they'll be a little bit more appropriate for breakfast tacos. So what's next? We're gonna go
I'm gonna crack some eggs. I'm gonna start cooking the fillings while you cook the tortillas.
How are you preparing the eggs?
A little bit of butter and soft scramble-ish.
Okay, perfect. That was the answer I was hoping for.
Nice. I think per taco, like egg and a half.
Per taco?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Ooh, those are really nice looking eggs.
Yeah, they're the best eggs.
We keep chicken, so now I'm very particular about my eggs.
I always judge an egg by its egg whites. Like if it tastes like delicious, the yolk is gonna be great, you know?
I would much rather have a medium cooked yolk than any amount of undercooked white. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Like any amount of undercooked white, I'm just like, no. Like I don't need a fully runny yolk.
Properly over medium, where it's like a little bit overcooked on just the edge, like custardy on the middle.
Like I don't want the yolk to be so runny that it's like a raw yolk. Like I like a hollandaise texture yolk of it that gets somewhat cooked and then it runs.
And that's technique.
That's just
Are you salt person on eggs when you scramble, or?
Yeah, I put a little salt in the beginning. I used to not.
Like
because that was like what they told me in culinary school. And then I was like, I don't think it matters.
I don't think it matters either.
I also found that if I didn't do that, I felt like I over salted them a little bit if I was just doing it at the end as they were cooking.
I don't know. I've had like this feeling like if I just like put it on the pan when they're like after they're like a little bit cooked, it's not gonna like dissolve and go everywhere.
Right.
That's my thing. So I do add salt to my scramble.
Yeah.
Pre-pan. I think we're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
And oil's good?
I think oil's good.
Okay. I already got it wrinkle. Don't touch it. Not gonna
what
do
happened?
too much.
Did I miss it?
I had a little wrinkle in it. Matte surface.
Yeah.
Flip it now?
Maybe wait a little bit longer.
So it's like fully set on the bottom? Yeah. Okay.
Then you'll be able to flip it soon.
Okay.
I'm gonna start cooking the chorizo.
Okay. And you said that you make that here.
We
the
make
chorizo?
it here, yes.
Yeah.
Ooh!
Should I get a couple going at a time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of just like press it to make sure it hits up all the spots.
Yeah.
And then I think we're good on this one.
So you can kind of deflate it a little bit to make sure there's better contact.
Yeah.
Okay. And you give it a couple of flips.
Yeah. I think we're good on that one.
Okay.
Just adding some of the cooked potatoes to the chorizo. They'll get a little bit of that chorizo fat seasoning flavor onto the potatoes. And then the last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add the eggs. So like in Mexico, if you had like breakfast-ish tacos, like this, we would just put this in a tortilla.
Chorizo and
It's like-
potato.
yeah.
Yeah.
And in the States, it's like people are obsessed with eggs and tortillas.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad about it. Like this is like traditionally called slang for chori papa, chorizo and papa.
It gets a little hotter in the back.
So now that the chorizo is cooked, potatoes are blended together, I'm gonna add a little bit of eggs in there. Then I would have a spatula, but I forgot. I'm gonna do it with a spoon.
How many eggs was that you cracked?
Total, I cracked
Total.
6 eggs.
Well, these smell so
Ooh,
good. The tortillas.
I'm excited now.
You got a stew going.
Woo.
All right, this is the last one. The last tortilla.
Are you a fan of ham and eggs?
Yes.
I like ham and eggs, but they have to be like lightly fried.
Uh-huh.
So I wait to like fry it before I add the huevos. Ooh, that's a good cracking.
Ah. Is that for one taco?
Yeah, that's for one taco.
Okay.
Then put a tortilla on top of it.
Okay.
We're just gonna watch it melt. Now that the ham is fried, I'm gonna add eggs to this.
It smells so good.
Because I'm a professional, I brought a spatula this time around.
That's a very well seasoned pan.
Oh yeah, I'd made it. And then we put the eggs in here.
Yes.
That's the first breakfast taco.
It looks so good. For me?
Yeah, for you.
Okay,
we
thank
can
you.
we can put salsa on it. That one is a little salsa mexicana, tomatoes, like classic pico de gallo. But we take tomatoes and we run them through the meat grinder, so it's a little bit saucier. And this is just our guacamole, super heavy, loaded on herbs.
All cilantro, or there's other herbs in there?
Cilantro, a little bit of parsley, any other herbs that we have from our garden right behind the
Oh,
restaurant,
nice.
we'll use them there too.
Okay.
This is like growing up ham and eggs, but a little bit of chefed up with a little bit of crispy cheese on the plancha, tortilla on top, then just a little bit of salsa mexicana, tomatoes, onions, cilantro, serranos, and a little bit of guacamole. And then this one is chorizo, potato, and egg. This one I just like to have a little bit of cheese on top. And then I don't like to eat this one with salsa, but you can add salsa.
Okay, just plain.
Just, yeah.
Yeah.
This is how I would eat them.
The crispy cheese is like making my mouth water. Looks so good.
Ham and cheese, eggs. How many Claires?
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. I thought the scale was 5.
I know, I changed it. Do you feel like, thickness-wise,
I think they're good.
you're happy
What
with
do you
that?
think?
I mean, I think it's great. It's so delicious.
I think I like that we didn't overcook them,
Yeah.
but they're still a little bit soft, and
Soft.
they steam a little bit
And
here
like
too.
flexible. Yeah. These are kind of two of your favorite go-to breakfast tacos.
This is what I would make for myself at home.
At home. Okay.
And it's like it takes on variations too that you can find throughout the city.
So I'm going to be in Austin for another few days. Where should I go to taste breakfast tacos around the city?
Joe's Bakery.
Okay.
They have the best flour tortillas in my opinion. Veracruz will have the best representation in my opinion of migas.
Okay.
They've been doing it for so long and they perfected the art of making migas. Norte, they started doing breakfast tacos. They do northern style tacos. So they have flour tortillas and they have really good flour tortillas with their eggs on the weekends. El Primo is another like traditional spot. What I like about them is they crack their eggs on the plancha and they scramble them there. So you have like that scramble, which is like egg white and yolk mixed together. And then con todo also does great breakfast tacos.
Awesome.
So those are like traditional breakfast tacos, right? If you wanted to like not forget that you're in Austin, which is in Texas, I would go to Valentina's. They do great flour tortillas, and I know what you're gonna say. You guessed it right. They put brisket. So they smoke the
Okay.
brisket and they put it in the tortilla. So to not forget you're in Texas,
Okay.
go to Valentina's for breakfast
Awesome.
tacos.
Thank you so much for making time for hosting us.
Thank you.
While we're in Austin. This is so great. An education for me in flour tortillas, and I can't
And
wait.
me. I learned a lot too.
Well, I can't wait to go home and replicate this and start making like really good homemade breakfast tacos. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, and don't forget to like.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
There we go. Thank you.